The awkward silence drags on for a short while until...
そういえば
Kazuna claps her hands together.
シュゴさん、どうして急に逗子になんて行くことに？姉さんの件が関係しているって電話ではおっしゃってましたけど。
Yeah, I guess I haven't given you the full rundown. To tell the truth, I'm really reluctant to fill her in. Rumors surrounding the Kouzuki family, Keiichiro's deceit, and the secret that I'm keeping hidden from Kazuna. However, you're not going to be very happy to hear this. You better prepare yourself. I have no desire to keep deceiving Kazuna anymore. I was gonna say, if they give me a choice, I'm going to tell her the truth. I'm gonna be straight up honest with her. She's a little homie at this point. She nods, a doubtful look on her face. You probably left for Tokyo without knowing any of this. Of course, I'm referring to the fact that her sister was the root of the rumors surrounding the Kouzuki family. I haven't seen the Kouzuki's daughter lately. That rumor started spreading during the summer 10 years back. The people living nearby thought it odd. Up until then, she had repeatedly disappeared for about a week at a time. It was common knowledge that the Kouzuki's sickly daughter would go to a sanatorium on the outskirts of town. She would stay there so that her health wouldn't deteriorate, or so the people living there thought. However, at that time, a different rumor started to spread. Oh?
別の噂ですか?
Kazuna raptly listens to my story. There's no doubt that she hasn't been told this part of the story. Yeah. I nod to continue the tale. Right around the time when Keiichiro was getting his business off the ground, there were a lot of businessmen coming and going in and out of the place. A number of them encountered some rather strange events going on inside the mansion when they were there for business talks. There were mysterious noises coming from somewhere inside the mansion. It was a series of low, guttural, indescribable cries that sounded like a cross between a beast's roar and a woman's death throes. Whenever Keiichiro heard them, his mood would turn foul. He'd call over his wife Hiroko and give her some commands. One time, a suspicious guest asked Keiichiro about it. You know the strange noises we've been hearing? If you're keeping some manner of rare beast in here, I'd very much like to see it. Keiichiro responded with a cross look on his face. I have nothing of the sort here. Just my daughter making a racket. Please ignore it. Your daughter? Why is she screaming like that? Something went wrong, and after falling into a depressed silence, Keiichiro didn't say any more about his daughter. Now that I think about it, Yota was a rather odd girl to begin with. There were a lot of times where I'd catch her staring off into space by herself, muttering incomprehensible things. Neighbors would whisper amongst each other. That Kouzuki girl's been possessed by a fox. They figured she was locked away to hide that. Kazuna cuts in sharply. Well, apparently people have always said that the Kouzuki family had the blood of demons running in their veins. A bunch of family members went deranged due to that blood, and they ended up being sealed away, or so the rumors said. Perhaps Yota also... Because your father sucks shit, dude. I can hear the pain in her voice. Kouzuki Keiichiro was extremely frightened of Yota's case becoming public knowledge. That's probably why he locked her away, used a guy like me, and tried to suppress the matter quietly. I nod as Kazuna stares up at me in amazement. Yeah. This search for Yota I was hired for is pretty much just a sham. I inform a shocked Kazuna about Keiichiro's real plan. About how he didn't want Yota found in order to protect the family's good name, and how he wouldn't give in to Kazuna's desire to find her sister. Thus he came up with the idea of hiring a detective like myself to run a false investigation in order to deceive Kazuna. Everything was a setup. After I finished the entire story, Kazuna's left looking downward, her expression a frozen mask. She murmurs, a tormented look on her face. I'm sorry for not saying anything up until this point. She shakes her head quietly. She looks down again, clearly upset. Kazuna. I sigh and avert my eyes. The snow is blowing strongly against the windows of the train. The frame clatters around as we chug along. I hadn't actually intended on doing so, but all things considered, I ended up deceiving Kazuna. My chest is gripped by a feeling that resembles... guilt. Yes? No, it wasn't. Shitogo. I was trying to look for Yura in my own way.
どうして？それって変ですよね。
Why do you say that?
だってそんな必要ないじゃないですか。お父様からの依頼は私を騙すことだったんでしょ？
Yeah, but there's one more thing I've been hiding from Kazna. Has her sharp mind caught on to that fact?
お父様の言う通り、面倒なことなんかしないで適当にごまかすこともできたはずです。それでもシュウゴさんは私と一緒に姉のことを探してくれましたよね。それって何か特別な理由があるんじゃないですか？
I'm at a loss for words.
私
Kazna looks me straight in the
以
eye.
前からずっと気になっていたんです。シュウゴさん、姉さんの名前を口にするたびにどこか苦しそうな顔をします。
I had no idea. There's no way I could have realized that on my own.
それから初めて会った時、シュウゴさんは私の顔を見てすごく驚いていましたね。
Really?
本当のこと教えてください。シュウゴさんは姉さんのこと個人的にご存知なんじゃありませんか？
Her gaze doesn't waver. She's still staring straight into my eyes. Yeah. I nod in affirmation. I don't want to lie to her anymore. You've hit the nail on the head. She gasps. I knew Kouzuki Yura 7 years ago. We were lovers.
それじゃあシュウゴさんは
Kazuna's face steadily becomes distorted with emotion. Is that hatred I see? Scorn? Perhaps anger? Our relationship with her sister, the fact that I hid everything from her, hell, there's no end to the number of possible reasons. Looks like this spells the end of my peaceful, pleasant relationship with Kazna. Or so you think. The thought alone makes my chest ache so bad it's practically laughable. Yeah. My feelings spur me on to do something I can never take back. Something that will twist her face in agony even more. I don't care if you hate me for what I've done. 7 years back, I had a relationship with Kouzuki Kazuna's twin sister, who had just barely begun blossoming into womanhood. In the village to which I had evacuated, inside that broken down, ruined house that reeked of musty water. I made love to your sister more times than I can remember. Okay, you didn't have to give that much detail. Our train finally arrives at Zishi Station. This is the same path we walked down 10 days ago. We pull up our scarves as we walk down the snow-covered path, which is lined with short shrubbery. We trudge on in silence as the wind lifts up flurries of snow around us. This is for the best, I tell myself inside my head. It's ridiculous to think that I could be attracted to Kazna, considering the fact that I betrayed Yura 7 years ago. That's why this is really for the best. As I mull that over my head, we approach the bend in the road that takes us to the Kouzuki estate. There's that familiar-looking bus stop. It's where I first met Kazna 10 days ago. Hey, Kazna. You stay the night at your folks' home. We're almost there, right? She turns to face me, pulling her eyes away from the ground.
シュウゴさんはどうするんですか？
She sounds a bit tense for some reason. Let's see. I'll look for lodging close by. I'll have any problems considering what time of year it is.
そうですか。
She nods repeatedly to herself. Kazna's got this resolute glint in her eye, almost as though she's decided upon something. Seeing how serious she is kind of overwhelming. Kazna? She opens her mouth to speak.
一つ聞いてもいいですか？シュウゴさんが優しくしてくれたのは
No.
私が姉に
I
似
was
てい
nice to
る
you
か
because you're a little homie.
らですか？
You're a little goofball. You're precious. I love you. I have no idea where she's going with this. The least I can do is give her an honest reply. That's not it at all. I was kind to you because I had so much fun being together with you, Kazna. Kazna's purity and her honest feelings, those parts of her dazzled me above all else. And that's what was most dear to me.
よかった。
She murmurs softly.
それだけ聞ければ十分です。私はシュウゴさんと一緒に行くので、今夜は家には帰りません。
She's full of confidence, just like how she was up on stage.
シュウゴさん、今夜一晩よろしくお願いします。
Hell yeah. She bows deeply. Huh? My mind goes blank for a split second. The words that come out of her mouth are not what I was expecting to hear at all.
シュウゴさん、どうしたんですか？旅館ならこっちですよ。こんな寒い夜ですし、 温泉でも入ってゆっくりしましょうよ。
She takes me by the hand and starts to walk off. Hold it, Kazna. Did you not hear anything I said earlier? I slept with your sister, you know.
はい、それがどうかしましたか？
But the straightforward manner in which she directs her question renders me speechless. Yeah, and?
それは確かに驚きました。ちょっとでも全部昔のことですよ。
Hell
二人
yeah.
に対する私の気持ちは変わりません。
That's my little homie. Kazna.
もしかしてシュゴさん、今でも姉さんのことを思っているんですか？それはかなり困るかも。
No, that's not it. Hearing such a cheerful reply from her makes the words suddenly come tumbling out of my mouth. I might be the reason why Yoda went mad. 7 years ago, when Yoda asked me to save her, I betrayed her.
だからシュゴさんは姉さんを探してくれたんですね。その時のことを謝るために。
Well, is that why? I just don't know. I've asked myself that a million times over. I still don't know. This feeling of guilt inside me. It's always been sitting at the bottom of my heart for these last 7 years. Kazna flashes me a tender smile while I stand there bewildered.
私、シュゴさんが好きです。
Aww.
だから姉さんを見つけたいと思う理由がもう一つ増えました。
え？
シュゴさんが姉さんに謝りたいと思っているなら、そのためなら私、どんなことでも頑張れる気がするんです。
She giggles in embarrassment. Kazna, you're really... Words just won't come out. That's why I embrace her. Hell yeah. Strongly. Tightly. I'll never let her go again.
シュゴさん。
As she whispers my name, Kazna gently slips her arms behind my back. Hell yeah. I have no idea how long we stand there, embracing each other. When I raise my eyes, I suddenly find Nana standing right in front of me. Huh? What the?
やあシューゴ、久しぶりに会ったと思ったらさすがに邪魔をしては悪いと黙って見ていたんだが、まったく君たちの奥手ぶりにはイライラさせられたよ。
I don't like you.
ナナさん？
いやいやカズナ君、そんなに慌てて体を離さなくても構わないよ。なんだか犬の交尾を邪魔したようで僕の気が引けるじゃないか。
Kazna goes stiff from shock. Come on, Nana. Why the hell are you always turning up where I'm planning to go?
おやおや、シューゴは自意識過剰だな。偶然に決まってるじゃないか。だいたい僕は昨日からこの町にいて、もうすぐ東京に帰るところだよ。
Alright, cool, then go. Since yesterday.
つい先日、ひょんなところで陸林法の変形門を見つけてね。その関係もあって、奈良橋家ゆかりのこの土地に調査に来たんだ。
Huh? Hexagonal. Nada?
陸林法は奈良橋家の家紋として有名だし、加えてかの家の家業は代々薬作り、つまり科学の都だったりするんだね。
Huh? As usual, I haven't the slightest clue what she's talking about.
シューゴは本当に無知なんだな。まあ人間、血管が多いほど魅力的だと言うしね。僕は好きだよ。シューゴのそんなボコボコと穴だらけなところ。
その
Kazna's completely flustered after she's suddenly brought into the conversation.
どうしたんだいカズナ君。はっきりしない答えだな。ついさっきはあんなにはっきりと好きだの愛しているだの公言していたのに。
ナナさん、もしかして全部ご覧になっていたんですか？
There's an ominous grin on her face.
二人ともすごく可愛かったよ。恥ずかしながらもう少しで濡れてしまうところだった。
Once again, Kazna goes rigid with shock. Ah, cut it out. Kazna, stop talking to her. Just the act alone will make you go nuts. We're in a hurry, so we're taking off right now. I take her by the hand and start to walk off.
仲睦まじくて羨ましいな。この件が片付いたらぜひ僕も仲間に入れてほしいね。いいね、カズナ君。
No, don't talk to her.
シューゴはウブだな。
We We keep plowing ahead without turning around. The demonic cackles chase us from behind as flurries of snow swirl about us. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Shugo, I really miss your older sister. She was so much more fun to be around. We find a tiny inn on the outskirts of the village. Just as I had predicted, business is rather slow. We're the only customers staying over. The proprietress tells us with a wry smile I was just about to close up for the night, as she shows us inside. And a little while after we've settled into our room. What's the matter, Kazna? Not gonna sit? She's been acting strange ever since we got inside, what with all that fidgeting around and blushing.
いえ、
Hey, Kazna. What's wrong with you? Why are your cheeks so red?
だって、
Dipshit.
お部屋って一緒なんですよね。
You got a problem with that?
嫌じゃないですけど。
Well, that's good.
でも、お布団が一組しか敷いてなかったりするんですけど。
What, you got a problem with that?
嫌じゃないですけど。
Well, that's good.
よくないですよ。それじゃ何ですか？私に覚悟を決めろとシュウゴさんはそうおっしゃるんですね。
She's spewing absolute gibberish, but I understand perfectly what she's trying to say. Yeah, something like that, I guess.
平然とうなずかれてしまいました。もしかしてこれは決定事項、すでに逃れられない運命ですか？
Maybe?
はい、わかりました。たった今、私覚悟が決まりました。
I'm ready. Kazna leaps up with her hands balled into fists.
私、お風呂に入ってきます。
She declares with great gusto.
隅々まで綺麗にしますから、シュウゴさんも必ず入ってきてください。
Sure?
はい、それでは後ほどよろしくです。
I hear the sound of Kazna scampering out of the room. It's just so damn cheerful. This place doesn't hold a candle to the open-air bath at Keiichiro, but it's elaborate in its own way. Yeah. I relax and soak away all the weariness from my long day. Thinking about what's going to happen after this makes my crotch start to swell, so I'll make an effort to keep it out of my head for the moment. Around 30 minutes later, I get out of the bath and return to my room. And illuminated by the faint light of a lamp is Kazna, sitting in the middle of the futon waiting for me. She's shooting me a distinctly accusatory look. Sorry about that. Guess I took a bit of a long bath, huh? Sit myself down next to her.
ドキドキして頭が変になりそうでした。
Kazna giggles, her eyes downcast. Kazna. Moved by how adorable she looks, I wrap my arms around her slender body. Kazna doesn't resist, instead leaving herself at my mercy.
シュウゴさん、
Kazna. As Kazna gently closes her eyes, I place my lips against hers. Start to slowly run my tongue over her lips. Kazna's faint exhalations brush my cheek. Huh? What's the matter?
ひどいですよ、シュウゴさん。私に呼吸させてくれないんですから。
What?
私、ずっと呼吸を我慢していたのに、ずっとキスしてくるんですもん。苦しくなって倒れちゃうじゃないですか。
I can't help but give a wry chuckle at her wild exaggeration.
笑うなんてひどいじゃないですか。私は今のが初めてだったんですよ。やり方なんて何も知らないのに。
Yeah, my bad. Let's try this again. You'll be fine this time around, right?
はい。
After a
大丈
gentle
夫
nod
だと思います。
from Kazna, I dive into another kiss. This time she makes sure to breathe through her nose and sticks her tongue out to meet mine. Kazna's body temperature begins to rise from the act of kissing alone. I stick my hand into her yukata via the front collar. Kazna moans happily and presses her body closer to mine. I slip the yukata off her shoulders while fondling her small breasts. Okay, you don't have to do homegirl like that. That's rude.
シュウゴさん、起きてください。
I love that hard cut to, oh, her mind's going blank to the point where she can hardly even fucking make words. She's just moaning all the time. Then the next morning, well, time to get up and go.
朝ですよ。
My futon suddenly yanked off. Speaking of yanking off,
はい、おはようございます。シュウゴさん、目が覚めましたか？
I look over to find Kazna already changed, ready to head out. What the heck? You're pretty damn early.
当たり前です。お化粧やら何やら、いろいろと女の子には支度があるんですから。
Whoa, you put on makeup, Kazna?
何ですか？何か文句でも？
Well, you're pretty damn cute without it. I don't think you need it at all, to be honest.
本当ですか？
No, I was just flattering you. Boom. Ow. She delivers a hearty kick to the side of my gut.
くだらないこと言ってないで、さっさと布団から出てください。
You're like a married couple already.
さっき旅館の人が朝食ができてるから食堂まで来てくれって言ってたんです。
Come on. I just got up, for crying out loud. I scratched my head. It's nothing to be proud of, but I'm pretty well known for being cranky in the morning.
ああ、もうこの人は。
In exasperation, Kazuna drags me out of the
ほ
futon.
ら、浴衣、自分で脱いでくださいね。
Wait, it's too damn cold in here. Ow! Fist sinks into my gut.
じゃあほら、手伝ってあげますから、腕を後ろに回して伸ばして。
I love you two already. I do as she says. My yukata's properly stripped off.
今度はご自分の着物です。はい、もう一度腕を後ろに回して。
Kazuna, your personality just changed. She's being a lot more forceful than she's ever been.
あ、だって
She blushes.
私、もう子供じゃないから。だらしないシュウゴさんの面倒も嫌がらずにしてあげなくちゃって。
She looks up at me. It's kind of galling for some reason, so I decide to give her a thump on the head in return.
シュウゴさん、いきなり何をするんですか？
Oh, my bad. Not sure why I did that.
なんとなくそんな理由で人の頭をポンポン叩くなんてひどいじゃありませんか。変じゃありませんか。おかしいじゃありませんか。
I love these two. Yeah, you're right. I apologize.
それもおかしいです。そんな簡単に謝るんなら、そもそもどうして私の頭を叩いたりするんですか？
Just felt like it, right? Just because.
だからなんとなくって何なんですか？
Like I was saying, the proprietress comes looking after us after 20 minutes because she finds it strange that nobody's come down for breakfast. Nonplussed, we continue our futile argument. We call Kouzuki Keiichiro via telephone from our inn to arrange a meeting time. Seems rather unwilling, but after I tell him I want to report on the status of Yoda's search, Keiichiro reluctantly agrees. The country lane over to the Kouzuki mansion is blanketed with snow. I look over at Kazna, who's walking along beside me. Her cheeks are flushed pink due to the cold, and each breath she takes sends a puff of white steam. Look, I'm sorry about this. I feel bad for dragging you all the way out here without giving you a proper explanation.
Eh?
What we're going to discuss today isn't going to be very pleasant for you. It's because it's going to be about what happened 10 years ago. It might be tough on Kazna when she's finally confronted with the cold hard facts, so she's not an outsider to the family like me.
シュウゴさん、
However, Kazna doesn't seem to have any qualms.
どんな辛い話だって平気です。
Hell yeah.
私は本当のことが知りたいから。
The truth?
はい。10年前に姉さんに何があったのか。どうしてお父様はそれを隠しているのか。
She looks me straight in the eyes as she speaks.
だから、シュウゴさんは気に病まないでください。これは私が望んだことなんです。
Okay, I've got it. I'm somewhat dazzled by how strong and determined Kazuna seems. We're shown inside the moment we arrive at the mansion.
ようこそおいでくださいました。
Kouzuki Ryoko, Kazuna's mother, greets us gloomily.
ご無沙汰しています。
Damn. Ryoko's response to Kazuna's timid apology is a blank look.
どうぞ高城様。こちらです。
Ryoko guides us down the silent hallway. We're shown into the living room, which is decked out with expensive-looking furniture.
旦那様をお呼びします。
Oh, please do. Ryoko bows and leaves the room, her face an expressionless mask. Just like when I visited here 10 days ago, the Kouzuki mansion is deathly silent, as though nobody lives here. Even though the building itself is so massive, they don't have a single servant on hand.
シュウゴさん、気を悪くしないでくださいね。
Why? Kazuna suddenly turns to me, voice fraught with concern. You mean your mother? I don't really mind. Was already expecting not to be welcome here.
はい、すみません。
Kazuna's looking down at the ground, her shoulders slumped over in misery. Do you just not get along well with her? That's what worries me.
あ、いえ。
Troubled expression spreads over Kazuna's face.
涼子さんは数えるほどしか顔を合わせたことがありませんし、涼子さん自身、私や姉さんのことあまり好ましく思っていないようなので。
Well, that's plain enough to see. From the way Kazuna's been acting, I can grasp that Ryoko's pretty distant from the children of her husband's ex-wife. A moment of unease passes through my brain. And Yura had been living all by herself in this house.
はい。
Kazuna's expression clouds over.
私がもっと姉さんのことを気にかけていたら。
We probably both feel the same way about Yura. Feelings of regret and guilt. It's not too late.
え?
We'll find Yura. If she's in trouble, we'll save her and bring her happiness. That's what we came here to do, right? Kazuna's eyes brighten up.
はい、シュウゴさんの言う通りです。大切なのはこれからです。
Right. The moment I open my mouth to reply,
失礼。お待たせしたかな。
I quickly shut up and bow towards Keiichiro. Let's get this show on the road. The question is, how do we make the big man
さ
crack?
て、
So obviously he ain't gonna want to talk. Somehow we're gonna have to make him talk.
調査の報告だと聞いたが、
He regards me with a look of skepticism. Keiichiro slides his eyes over to Kazuna suspiciously as well. Yes. Well, it's no surprise. To him, this whole investigation I was hired for was nothing but a farce. There's no doubt in my mind that he never expected to be sitting here across from me receiving a report about it. However, several truths have come to light in the 10 days or so that I've been on the case. I proceed, paying no heed to his glares. I tell them about how a woman resembling Kouzuki Yura was sighted in the slums of Ueno, about how she had gotten tangled with one of the bosses of the Hand of Death, how others have witnessed that she's somehow connected with Tsendi, a religious cult. His expression grows more and more grim as I delve onwards.
もう十分だ。
He suddenly cuts me off. Is there a problem with my report?
高城君、
Keiichiro glares daggers at me.
私は君に何と依頼したのかな。
Why, to find your daughter Kouzuki Yura, right?
それもある。それもあるが。
He sounds annoyed as he glances over at Kazuna. If we assume that woman is indeed Yura-san, then that shows us a clear picture of her actions over the last 2 years. That leaves us with a problem, the route that led her to do those things. A cult, a hand of death. How on earth did Yura-san become connected to the seamy underbelly of society? Clues to that lie in the accident that happened 10 years ago and what happened between them and when she disappeared 5 years ago.
バカバカしい。くだらないことに興味を持つ男だな。第一、君には関係ないと言っただろう。これは光月家の問題だ。部外者が口を。
And right at that moment, yeah, it's like an outsider has no right to know, and then Kazu's gonna be like, well, I'm not an outsider. What about me, huh?
それではお父様、私には話していただけるんですね。
Kazuna jumps to her feet and shouts at him.
なんだと？
私だって光月家の人間です。 姉さんに何が起こったか本当のことが知りたいです。
Keiichiro glares at me.
高城君、君はもしかして。
He finally realizes why Kazuna's here as well. Yeah, I did. Sorry about that. I shrug, flashing him a wry smile. I wanted to talk things over in a calmer fashion, but I guess that's out of the question now. I guess one thing led to another, and, well, I basically spilled the beans to Kazuna.
貴様、よくも抜け抜けと。
Oh, I dare quite well, thank you.
お父様
Kazuna jumps in between
どう
us.
してそんな私たちを騙すようなことを。
黙れ、お前は引っ込んでいろ。
Keiichiro's eyes turn bloodshot in his rage.
いいえ、黙りません。お父様が本当のことをおっしゃるまで私は絶対に諦めたりしません。
この
Happened so fast, I didn't have time to stop him. Yep. Slap. Kazuna totters and falls backwards. Kosuke-san, you. He's going to go so far as to strike his own child. Surely it must be some kind of terrible secret.
もういい。君のような人間を信用した。
Damn right you were.
私が愚かだった。依頼は撤回する。帰ってくれ。
Keiichiro points toward the exit, his face haggard. I ignore him and continue talking. One thing that's been bothering me about those rumors going around 10 years ago. They used the word possessed, right? It appears that Yodo-san was shut away inside a room, not because of an accident, but because of mental illness. No, imprisoned might be a better word. Have you heard any rumors to that effect?
くだらんな。人の噂なんてものに何の信憑性もない。
Oh, there's no credibility, so you won't mind if we do a quick little investigation, would you? But you're so concerned with how society views your family, are you not? He falls silent, his face grim.
お父様
It's then that I hear someone laughing. Oh, the crazy bitch. Kouzuki Yoroko, left out of our conversation, is standing there laughing. She looks over with great amusement at us arguing.
皆さんそんな必死なお顔して本当にもう。
She giggles like a giddy little girl, something rather uncharacteristic when you consider her previous behavior. I can see the glint of something approaching madness in her eyes.
涼子、お前。
旦那様、もういいじゃありませんか。お話ししてさっさと帰っていただきましょうよ。第一あそこまで調べられたならどうせいずれバレてしまいますよ。
涼子さん
Kazuna addresses Ryoko timidly.
姉さんのこと
いえいえ、大したことじゃありません。旦那様が己の私欲のためにユラさんを売り渡してしまったんですよ。
Sold. Sold off? Well, I'm struggling to comprehend what she just said. Keiichiro raises his arm to strike once again.
黙れ、貴様。
You can't just smack the truth away, Keiichiro. Goddamn.
涼子さん
Kazuna helps Ryoko up after she's crumpled to the carpet.
この恩知らずどもめ、余計なことばかりベラベラと。
He's completely lost his cool. Keiichiro stalks toward Kazuna and Ryoko with his fist clenched. Please calm down, Kosuke-san. I hardly throw myself between him and the ladies. I have to do something here. He's going completely berserk with rage.
邪魔するな。この女どもに何をしようと私の勝手だ。
My women.
やっぱり旦那様は時代遅れ。女には言葉を話す権利すらないんですって。
Damn. Get his ass, Ryoko.
なんだとこの。
Stop it, you two. After a shout in anger, the room falls silent for a split second. Come on, Kosuke-san. All we want are some clues that'll help us locate Yoda-san. I won't breathe a word about this. I also won't do anything that will trouble the Kouzuki family. So please, could you just tell us? I think it'll save you some trouble in the future if you just tell us now instead of making us guess. How about it? He stares me down hatefully.
絶対に口外しないな。
I promise. I nod my agreement immediately. Keiichiro seems hesitant, but finally succumbs, a deeply troubled look on his face.
わかった。話してやろう。あれは昔から君の悪い娘だった。
Keiichiro begins his story hesitantly. Back then, the Kouzuki family was impoverished. They're one of the old powerful families in Zishi, but only in name. Without any source of income, they started selling the land passed down from their ancestors. Keiichiro disapproved. He became the successor of the Kouzuki family after the eldest son died young, and used the opportunity to collect and spend the remnants of the Kouzuki savings to start up a business. As the war continued to escalate, he set his goal on distributing goods and medicines to troops deployed abroad. Of course, that wasn't a business that a young man without financial backing could easily achieve. However, things were looking good for Keiichiro. The Kouzuki family predecessors had a lot of contacts in the financial world who should have been amicable toward young Keiichiro.
だが
He breathes a deep sigh.
今思えば当然のことだが協力してくれる者など皆無だったよ
Keiichiro crinkles his face in agony after thinking about the humiliations of his past.
用意した金を使い果たし破産寸前だったもう打つ手はなく一度は
はあ、そんな大変なことが。
Honey, shush. Kazuna interjects casually. You didn't know that? It's your own family we're talking about here.
ああ、お恥ずかしい限りです。
Keiichiro flashes a wry grin after he takes a look at Kazuna.
この鉄砲玉はその時にはもう家を飛び出していたからな
He may speak badly about her, but I think deep down inside he actually cares for her. Keiichiro's rejection of his daughter's acting career probably stemmed from the fact that he just wanted to keep her at home. But then why on earth would he shun her twin sister, Yura, so much?
そんな時だった一人の青年が私の元に訪れたのは
Indifferent to the questions my mind raised, Keiichiro plows on with the story. Would you let us assist in your business venture? He introduced himself as a researcher working for a laboratory in Tokyo. The man wore a gray suit. He was a polite, unassuming young lad. Keiichiro thought him suspicious. He visited many medical institutions, but none of them were like the one the young man told him about. He hadn't even heard the name before. I see. Well, our institution is special. Our existence is hidden from regular civilians. He shrugged his shoulders like a foreigner. Would you really be willing to make a deal with me? Keiichiro's joy at being able to start his own business won out over his suspicion. Of course, Kouzuki-san. The young man lowered his voice. We do have one condition, however. We request that you accept it unconditionally. A condition. Here it comes, Keiichiro thought. There's no way such a sweet deal would go over so easily. Right. I don't think this will go over too well with you, Kouzuki-san. The young man searched for what to say. Please, just say it. I'll do anything in my power. Keiichiro strengthened his resolve. If he let this one go, there wouldn't be a second chance. The man suddenly changed the topic. By the way, Kouzuki-san, you have twin daughters, correct? The man smiled and continued. In particular, we've heard rumors that the older one possesses some kind of mysterious power. The one behind the curtain, yep. Keiichiro was taken aback. How did this young man know about Yura? No need to be suspicious. Our institution specializes in that sort of thing. He shrugged once again. The name Kouzuki Yura popped up in the information we gathered. That's pretty much it. Keiichiro was at a loss for words. An image of his daughter Yura surfaced in his mind. She was rather creepy after all. Those deep, unfocused eyes of hers should repeat incomprehensible gibberish day in and day out. In stark contrast to her healthy, cheerful sister, Yura cultivated a dark, ominous aura about herself. Every time she affixed him with soulless eyes, Keiichiro felt a little part of himself that cared for her die. Though nobody ever openly said anything about it, at some point the people in the village had started avoiding Yura, shunning her as some kind of abomination. And above all else... So what do you want with Yura? The man's reply was short and simple. I'll be frank with you. We'd like to use her as a research subject. Keiichiro had been expecting him to say something like that. Keiichiro tried to distance himself from the guilt he felt for selling off his daughter. What do you mean, research subject? As though he'd guessed what Keiichiro was thinking deep inside, the young man replied jokingly, Oh, it's nothing too serious. We just want to tamper with her brain a bit.
そんな、それじゃ本当にお父さん。
仕方なかったんだ誰が好き好んで自分の娘を売り渡したりするのかしかし私には立ち上げただけで先の見込みのない事業があった他に方法なんてなかった
He falls silent, a look of bitterness etched across his features.
嘘ですよ。
Oh, spill the tea, Ryoko. Spill the tea.
今こそこんな悲しいお顔してらっしゃいますけど、 あの時は渡りに船とばかりに
Oh, she's spilling, and
危機と
this
して
shit is
ユナさ
piping
んを
hot.
涼子
Ryoko giggles, then closes her mouth. So, that accident 10 years ago was...
研究所が閉鎖するからとユラが送り返されてきた。その時にはすでにあれはどうしようもないほど壊れていた。泣き叫び、うなり、嘔吐を繰り返し、落ち着くまでに半年以上かかった。
だからといって部屋に閉じ込めるなんて。
家を捨てて東京で好き勝手に暮らしていたお前にそんなことを言う資格はない。
そんな。
Kazna's pressured into silence. I see. So after she came back, Yota was penned up indoors for 5 years until she disappeared. When I'd met Yota, she'd appeared calm on the surface. That was probably only true of her outward appearance. Deserted by her own family, shunned and feared by her neighbors, I can never begin to fathom the loneliness Yota must have felt at this time. But why was Yota so attached to me, a man she just met? I think I'm beginning to see the answer. Well, all things considered. Kouzuki-san, is there anything else you can remember about that research facility? If Yota had fallen back on them after she disappeared, then the names of anyone affiliated with the facility might be helpful.
さあ、どうかな。奴らの接触は常に一方的だったから。
You can't remember anything. Anything at all, no matter how trivial, would help.
そうだ。
He nods to himself.
奴の名前は覚えている。この話を持ってきた。
Oh,
そ
spill
の
it.
機関の研究員という男だ。
Spill it. And it is...
奈良橋一馬といったか。なかなか珍しい名前なので記憶に残ってい
Not
た。
Cosma. Narahashi. Okay, so that's the name that that Nana had mentioned. Okay. Which she found their pendant in the chapel where Freak Bitch was doing her Freak Bitch stuff. Okay. Narahashi Kazuma. Narahashi. This is indeed an important clue. In all honesty, though, I don't expect to be able to track down that secret research facility just through the name. But in order to find out where Yota went after she disappeared, I think we need to locate him at all costs. Huh? Wait just a second. Narahashi. I feel like I've heard that name somewhere, and quite recently to boot. You sure have, bud. It was last night. My conversation with Nana resurfaces in my mind.
陸林法は奈良橋家の家紋として有名だし、加えてかの家の家業は代々薬作り、つまり科学の都だったりするんだね。
Holy shit. How the hell is Nana's research connected to Kouzuki Yota?